I'm here with Coach Adron Robinson, fellow alumni, teammate, and now the head football coach here at Niceville High School. And Coach, I got to ask you.
Yes.
You and I played on this field. It's been 38 years ago since you and I played here. Now, I mean, I know we don't look that old. I think you look pretty young. I mean, we've aged well, in my opinion, right?
I think I need to shave this a little bit.
So, what has changed about the game since then? I mean, you've been in this industry for so long.
Right.
What is anything changed about the game, or is it still hard-nosed football and discipline and?
Yeah, I don't think much has changed in the game of football. You still got to run, still got to pass, still got to block, still got to tackle. I think some of the expectations have changed. Whereas, sometimes some kids want things to be given to them, and that's just not going to happen here at Niceville High School.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be earned.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, you've come up with Coach Sorrells, who kind of was like what really kind of kicked off the excellence of Niceville Eagles. Then Coach Hicks,
right?
And you Grant Thomas as well, and then Coach Morgan. With those coaches you've worked with, and either being a player or assistant with, what influences have you got over the years, even through others that kind of you're going to bring to the table?
Well, I think as the next head coach of Niceville High School, I'm very fortunate because I got to play for Coach Sorrells, who did a masterful job of organizing a great staff. I mean, he had great assistant coaches that I learned a lot from. He was able to be like the CEO of the program. And then I learned from Coach Hicks as a player and a coach who was very detail-oriented. I don't think there's a man alive that is as detailed as Coach Hicks is. And then I got to work for Coach Thompson. And as a head coach, to also be the player's cheerleader as well, I learned that from him. And then even last year with Coach Morgan, Coach Morgan came in with so many different ideas, especially on the offense side of the ball. Things didn't quite work out the way he wanted, but I still think he brought a lot to the program. And I've just been fortunate to learn from, the last 4 head coaches. I'm just going to kind of take all that in. And to me, simple phrase is everything matters. Mm-hmm. If you look back at the last 4 head coaches, I just came up with my coaching philosophy is going to be real simple. Everything matters, whether it's on a field, how do you prepare for a game, in the classroom, how you act outside of the program. Nobody says Joe Smith acted up. They say one of your football players acted up. Mm-hmm. Or on the flip side, just recently, I looked at one of my favorite posts on Facebook from concerned citizens of Niceville, Florida, and there was a comment and I'm not gonna lie to you, Heath, it like brought tears to my eyes, where a lady who worked at the Dollar General made a post about 6 flag football players, females, came into her store and was polite, courteous, and did the right thing. She didn't know their names. She just knew they played flag football at Niceville High School, and that made me proud. And that's the same thing with the boys. It's not going to be one in particular player. They're going to talk about our entire program, whether it's good or bad. And I want to make sure that we lean towards the good.
Yeah, well, that's great. So what does success look like for your first year? I mean, how would you, if at the end of the season you say, you know what, we met our milestones, we met our objectives. Obviously, getting into the playoffs is one thing.
Right.
But what do you see developing these kids, your coaches? I mean, you've got to put this team together now, and because if you want everything to click on all cylinders,
right,
it's got to be complete buy-in. And so, how are you addressing that?
Well, the first thing is we got to get the players and coaches to take ownership of their responsibilities. For the players, it's simple. Whatever position they play, take ownership. What they do in the classroom, take ownership. And for our coaches, to make sure you take accountability. Mm-hmm. The sections you're in charge of, take accountability for that.
Yeah.
It's real simple. We maximize our talent, and we're disciplined, and we look organized. Yeah. That's what success looks like to me.
Okay. What changes are you looking at immediately that you've said, you know what, this has to change today in order to move your program in forward?
It's the same thing. We're going to be more disciplined. That has to be at the top of the list.
Okay. Speaking of discipline, how do you handle player discipline?
Well, we have creative ways for opportunities to improve.
Not that we ever knew anything about that.
Not at all.
Never.
We never got in trouble.
No, never.
That's why we won state.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my players, they get tired of hearing about 88. And the simple answer is, we'll put another number on the wall.
Exactly.
That's a simple answer. If you're tired of hearing about 88, put another number on the wall. But we're going to have plenty of ways to improve.
Yeah.
Whether it's lack of playing time or spending some quality time with Coach Brigman, we have our ways to make players improve.
Sure.
Or this just won't be the program for you.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah. So speaking of the programs, how do you keep up with these different trends that are going on? You know, especially everybody goes to the West Coast offense at one time. Right. That was the big thing. When you and I played, it was the I formation, power. It was hard-nosed football. Right. How do you adapt to that with these kids and stay on top of obviously their safety is one, and then and whatnot. So
I think we're very fortunate to be at Niceville High School. Throughout the years, we made a lot. I mean, if you talk to Coach Sorrells or Coach Hicks, every famous college coach that was out there, they knew. And that's one of the things that I learned. When I first started being assistant coach here, one of the first things I did was get on the road and drive to Florida State, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, and meet these coaches and figure out what are they doing. How can what they do improve our program?
Right.
Not just the recruiting aspect of it, but we'd also spend time in their meetings and learn what they're doing. From one of the first things that when Grant Thompson came here, we went to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And we were ahead of the ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember we played a game, I don't want to say against who, but we handled them pretty easily. During the game, you can see their players like passing out and throwing up because we were playing at such a tempo that they couldn't keep up. Now everybody's doing that. So what's the next move?
Yeah.
And that's what we'll figure out before the fall.
Sure. Well, when you and I were playing together, we had an intense off-season program, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the off-season or spring workouts were hellacious.
Right.
Then we go to two-a-days. Y'all still do two-a-days anymore?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we're in 2026 now.
Oh my gosh.
Certain things are not allowed like they were in the 80s.
Man.
There will be no putting hands on players anymore like the 80s.
Not that ever happened.
Right, not like the 80s.
Yep.
Two-a-days or run kids so they pass out. It's a little different now.
Right.
We got to make sure we follow the rules.
So that'd be how the game's changed then.
Right, right. But you can still build toughness.
Sure.
You can still build character, and that's what we're gonna do.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So how are you connecting with these kids? I mean, you've been part of the program, so you've you've already got some continuity built with them. But these new ninth graders coming in from Ruckle and Lewis and stuff, how are you building rapport with them and establishing your program?
Again, like some of the rules have changed.
Yep.
So back in the day, we practiced as middle school students at the high school. You really can't do that anymore. Not here in Okaloosa County, but at the same time, as soon as they get in, I think the biggest thing that we lack is communication. And I think myself and our assistant coaches, we do a good job communicating with the kids, not just the new kids coming in, but the current kids that we have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good. So, tell me, what do you see as the biggest way for you to connect with the community and the parents and the alumni? Being an alumni yourself, I mean,
So I think that gives me a little bit of advantage. I know a lot of the alumni. I played with a lot. I went to school with a lot of these.
Yep.
But I think as the head coach of Niceville High School, you got to get out in the community some. And I've already started that process. Like I told you earlier, I went to Northwest Florida State and met with Mel Ponder and got to meet a lot of the community leaders that takes the leadership class over there at Northwest. That was a great opportunity for me and my defense coordinator, Cody Martin, who's, by the way, is outstanding. I think it's just a good opportunity to get out there and kind of talk a little bit about the direction of the program going in and some of our needs that we will be needing from the community. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited. Everybody's looking forward to next year. So.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of that too, is what kind of offense and defense are you running? So I'll tell you, a couple years ago, I had one of the kids come up to me and say, "Hey, what's better, the '88 defense or their current defense?" I said, "Well, here's my comment to you was the '88 team only allowed 66 points the whole season. You guys allowed 66 points in 2 games. So, so what do you see right there, the difference in the players on the defensive side of the ball there?"
Well, I mean, to defend some of these newer age kids, back in '88, offenses weren't as explosive as they are now.
Yeah.
We were able to line up 4-4 cover 3 and just say, try us.
Yeah.
So that, that's a little different. But we have to be multiple.
Yeah.
We're multiple on defense. Anything you can possibly imagine, Coach Martin can send it your way.
Yeah.
Any blitz, any coverage, he can send it your way. Offense is the same thing. We're going to base our offense, we're going to tailor it to the talent that we have.
Yeah.
We have a pretty good quarterback coming back.
Yep.
But we also have a pretty good running back coming back. So get ready 50-50. We can throw it and we can run it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think one of the things I saw develop too with Coach Morgan too, when he I saw the offense really open up, and you're really passing and running the ball than you were the previous couple of years too.
Right.
So I think one is the alumni and the fans really like to see that aggressiveness.
Right.
Opening up the field and having a playbook that was more than 8 plays.
Right.
So that, which is really nice. I mean, I'm excited when I see those plays.
Right.
So
right. I understand that, but
yeah.
we also want to make sure that we finish the game with W's.
Gotcha.
And
yeah.
Coach Thompson may have only ran 8-9 plays, but he won 60 games in
He
6
did.
years.
He did.
So we got to find that fine balance.
Sure.
And not only that, when you're multiple on offense, the kids get a little bit excited. They get excited to do some different things. But at the same time, we want to make sure the results are what we want as well.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, Coach, welcome aboard. I'm looking forward to what you're going to bring to the table. You do bring a plethora of experience with you, not only on the field but in the coaching arena as well.
Yep.
And I wish you the best, and we support you, the community, 100%. And say go Eagles.
Yeah,
so
go Eagles.
Coach Adron Robinson, Heath Rominger here with you live at the Eagles Nest, and welcome Coach here, and we're excited to see what you're going to bring to us.
All right. Let's go.